Damn, you want me to admit the waiting room now?
Yeah, let's do it.
I think you have to turn the waiting room off though, and then just spotlight the MCs.
Great.
Hello, hi everybody. What's up? Welcome. My name is Carmina. I am an organizer out here.
I can't hear.
I can't hear either.
Okay, I can.
Hello, Carmina, I don't listen to you.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
All right, sorry about that. What's up, everybody? My name is Carmina. Welcome. Hi.
Hi.
I'm trying to introduce my partner, Sunny, that's with us, that's going to be co-hosting with me.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sunny. I'm here in St. Louis as an organizer, and I'm coming to you live from my back patio.
Yes, and welcome to the National Digital Rally to cancel rent, cancel mortgages, and build a movement to win permanent and dignified and healthy homes for all. And we mean all people. We mean people that are unhoused. We mean people, all people, regardless of immigration status or your location. We mean people living paycheck to paycheck and people that are differently abled. We mean all people. Are y'all fired up? Are y'all ready to hear from leaders from all around the country? Are y'all ready to hear from Ana Tijoux? Woo! That's right. So we're excited to be here for our first digital rally. We know that this day is bringing anxiety as well. It's April 1st and millions of us have lost our jobs or had our hours cut and are worried about paying rent today or next month or in the months ahead. And we're worried about falling into debt. And millions more of us don't have safe homes or shelter to go to in the first place. Big corporations, banks, and landlords, and most elected officials are expecting us to pay rent, mortgage, and utilities like it's business as usual.
And it's not business as usual. To all the tenants, homeowners, small businesses out there who are concerned about making ends meet, we want you to know that you are not alone. We also know this crisis is not new for many of us. Many of us, especially Black and brown folks, have been living in crisis, and we know how to be resilient in times of crisis, right? We know how to survive, but we deserve more than survival. The time is now for us to come together, to organize, to seek each other out, and to fight for the future we deserve. We believe that we are at a turning point in our society, one where we have a collective choice. Do we join together after the path of history? Do we join together and alter that path of history and ensure a better future for our communities and grandchildren? Or do we go back to the status quo? Millions of us, renters and small businesses, restaurant workers, domestic workers, students, and teachers, are joining together because we refuse to go back to a world with insurmountable debt, insecure and unsafe jobs, homelessness, detention, and housing instability. We are coming together to fight for a future beyond recovery, beyond crisis, beyond survival. I'm talking about a world that exists where we thrive as a community. When they tell us it's time to go back to normal, we must be ready to say no. Normal wasn't working for us. It wasn't working for us last year, last month, and it won't work for us in the future.
So what are we fighting for, y'all? We want a future free from debt. We call on the state and federal officials, corporate landlords, utility companies, and banks to cancel all rent, mortgage, and utility payments and ensure no new debt during the crisis. We also want a future with safe, dignified, and cage-free shelter and sanctuary and homes for all. We call on the government to halt evictions, foreclosures, raids, and sweeps, and to turn vacant units into safe homes and refuge for people experiencing homelessness. We call on our government to ensure the well-being of those incarcerated, detained, and the general public by releasing our people from cages. We want a future where utilities vital to our personal and collective health are guaranteed. We must prohibit utility shutoffs, rate increases, and restore essential services to all households. We must guarantee water, electricity, gas, phone, and internet that are essential to our health and well-being now and in the future. We want a future where our work is valued and protected. The coronavirus is showing clearly who the most essential workers are in our world. And it's not the CEOs, and it's not the 1%. It's the teachers, the warehouse workers, the nurses, the domestic workers, and the home health aides and service workers. We must guarantee unemployment, sick time, paid leave, healthcare, safety and protections for workers, and a living wage for all. Together, we can go beyond recovery from the impacts of the current health crisis, and we can recover from the devastating impacts of capitalism and a society that has shown it cares more about the health of the market than the health of the people.
But it's gonna take all of us. I know for many of us, this is something we haven't done before, and it can be scary. Sometimes we think like, is this really my place? And it is. It's up to you to call for this. So if you are a renter out there or a homeowner who is concerned about paying rent or your mortgage or utilities, if you are experiencing homelessness or don't have a home, if you just lost your jobs or you had your pay cut or your job gave you a temporary vacation, if you're being forced to continue to work in unhealthy conditions just so you can pay the rent or mortgage, you are not alone. We can organize, we can fight back, and we can win. Now is the time to join your local tenant organization or tenant union. Now is the time to reach out to your neighbors. Find out who else is concerned about paying rent, or who else is concerned about paying the mortgage, and get together and make a plan to stand together. I want to reiterate that because it's not just about making the plan and acting on it. but it's you all making a commitment to one another. It's all of us making a commitment to one another, saying that we're going to stick with each other through the hard times, because I can't promise you it's going to be easy. There's going to be some resistance, but we're going to have to struggle through that together. So we can take collective action, whether that's reaching out to your friends and your neighbors, calling on elected officials, taking action to meet these demands and escalating them. It may even mean that you withhold rent, but we can do it together. This can't be an isolated moment. This can't be an isolated situation, because together we can build power with one another. Now it's time for us to join this growing movement to win healthy, dignified homes for all people. To join this movement, I want you to be able to type into your computer or on your phone, cancelrent.us, and join our next national organizing call on Tuesday, April 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern. For my Midwest folks, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, and 4 p.m. Pacific Time. Get on that call so you can connect with folks in your area and across the nation who are dealing with the same issues you're dealing with, and who are going to take action just like you are. To stay updated with us, pull out your phone right now. I'll give you a second. Only a second though. Pull out your phone right now and text the word HOMES, that's HOMES, to 33339. 4 3s and 1 9.
Y'all do it? Well, I'm wondering if we could start with a chant before we hear from our speakers. So when I say housing is, you say a human right. Ready? Housing is
A
a human right.
right.
Housing is a human right.
Human right.
Housing is
A
human right.
yes, so thank you. So we're gonna go ahead and introduce our first speakers.
All right, our first speaker is Miss Annette Jenkins from Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. I want y'all to put your hands together and welcome, show some love for our very own Miss Annette.
Annette. Where's Miss Annette? Okay, while we get Miss Annette back on, we're gonna actually ask Miss Bonnie Insera, a homeowner from Springfield, Massachusetts, and a leader with Springfield No One Leaves, to share their story.
Hi, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. I'm a homeowner in Springfield, Mass. I'm a leader with Springfield No One Leaves. On March 23rd, my husband found out that 2 of his coworkers came in contact with other people with the COVID-19. Unfortunately, he was the last to be informed. He had been around these people at work for a week and a half. He had a heart attack at the end of January, so very new into it, and was forced to be on 14-day quarantine, as well as myself, because I'm a healthcare worker. So at this current time, we're both out of work. I'm scared that I'm gonna, not have the money to pay my mortgage. And I've already been in foreclosure once and I've won that. I don't want to go back into that again. I also have a daughter that is facing the same thing, and she's a renter. So at this point, I'm very concerned as far as being able to pay my mortgage and my utilities, as well as take care of my 3 children.
Thank you so much for sharing your story, Bonnie. As we're gonna go into the next speaker, and we can see that this is a national issue, right? You're not alone in this. You're not the only one that's concerned and worried about it. And I'm glad that we could all connect today, and we'll continue to connect over the course of the next few weeks. I want to introduce our third speaker, which is Nikki Fortunada-Bass. Nikki is a city council member from Oakland, California, who just supported the passage of one of the most strongest moratoriums in the nation. Welcome, Nikki.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be here with all of you. Thank you, Bonnie, for sharing your story. My name again is Nikki Fortunada-Bass. I'm an Oakland City Council member. And before I won my seat over a year ago, I spent 2 decades organizing, like many of you, for economic, racial, and social justice with low-wage workers, immigrants, women, and communities of. And I'm proud to represent and work together with you at City Hall. So like natural and climate disasters has shown that we are all interdependent. Our health depends on the health of the person next to us and the person next to them. And here in Oakland and the Bay Area, just yesterday, we extended the shelter-in-place order through May 3rd. And keeping people safe at home right now is the most powerful tool we have to stop the spread of infection. The Oakland eviction moratorium, which City Council passed Friday, is a first step to keeping people safe at home. And I'm proud to have authored this legislation in partnership with the Protect Oakland Renters Coalition, who organized over 2,000 people to call, email, and testify to Oakland City Council members, sharing your own stories like you're doing today. And what I want to share with all of you is that now is the time for us to unite across our differences and make policy choices that help everyday people make ends meet and actually thrive. This is not the time to hand tax breaks to the wealthiest 1% and bail out corporations. Back in 2008, we did not do enough to respond to the economic recession and the foreclosure crisis. And at that time, countless families, especially low income and Black and brown households, lost their homes as corporate speculators bought them up. And today, 40% of homes in Oakland and nationwide are corporate owned, driving up housing costs and instability. And repeating this mistake would present a long-term threat to all of our communities. So today, as we come together as renters, homeowners, mom and pop landlords, and small businesses, we know that we all need relief to make it through this crisis. We are all in this together, and we must pull through together. Now more than ever, we must set ourselves and our economy up for a more equitable future. To achieve this, we're coming together today to demand immediate debt relief. That means cancel rent, cancel payments, cancel utility payments. These are the right choices that we can make now to not just survive this pandemic, but to ensure that everyday people are safe and thriving across the country. And I'm joining this movement as an elected official. You can join this movement too, and together, let's do this. Thank you.
Ooh, thank you, Nikki. While we try to get Ms. Annette back on, would it be cool to hear from Alina Maibam from San Francisco and the Housing Rights Committee? She's a longtime leader with the Veritas Tenant Union. Welcome, Lena.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Lena Maibam. Lived in San Francisco all my life. I've also lived in my building for 20 plus years. And just about 2 years ago, the largest landlord, Veritas Investments, purchased my building. And immediately they started doing rent increases. They started doing construction in my building in a very unhealthy way, mistreated my neighbors and myself, that I knew I had to do something. They started to purchase buildings around the city. And I figured if they were treating my particular building like this, I can only imagine what they were doing to other buildings that they are purchasing, which they own about 260 plus buildings. And at the moment, they are actually selling 76 buildings all at once in one bundle. So that's a bad sign. So I started to volunteer at Housing Rights Committee, which I'm a part of, for 2.5 years, and becoming an outreach organizer and trying to get other buildings to organize, because organize does work. We've won many victories, but up until now with the COVID-19, sorry to jump off, but I did lose a job that I loved so much. I was working at a hotel part-time, only 2 days out of the week. And just about a month ago, they said they had to cut my hours, which meaning they had to take a 1 day away. And because they already made the schedule, they had to take me off the schedule because business was not happening. People were not traveling. And also just got the word that they might have to temporarily close the doors because of no business. So that's income that I'm not receiving. And myself and everyone else is actually, very concerned about paying their rent, getting food, medicine, and we are actually locked down. So how are we supposed to survive if we're locked down and to pay rent? So this is very, very important that, rent is canceled, mortgages and utilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Lena, for sharing your story. We see that, all these things that are happening is a loss of work, reduction of hours. People are worried. People are concerned about how their rent is going to get paid. And if, like Aloe Blacc said, like 2 days ago when the concert series started, it said if one car on the train stops, the whole train has to stop, right? So with that, I'm just noticing and hearing all the levels of solidarity between people, and the needs are becoming universal, right? So with that, I would actually like to make way and introduce our musical guest. She is a Chilean singer, musician, and is known in Latin America as the MC of a hip hop group in the late 90s, Maquisa. She gained more widespread recognition following her second solo album, 1977 or 1977, and later with La Bala and Vengo. So please help me in welcoming Ana Tijoux.
Thank you. Hello. First of all, thank you to everyone for sharing your experience. To listen for me is my English is not so good, so I'm sorry. I will try to do my best. I'm in Chile right now in South America, and it's crazy. One of the reasons why I say yes to this meeting is because I always thought that we got to think to each other as internationalist people. I think it's the only way to fight a bigger enemy, which is this system. We are all under the same system. I think we are facing the same enemy here that is bigger than is coronavirus, but it's even bigger. It's like this problem of the health care. And I'm sorry if my English sometimes is not so good, because I think we are confronting right now a biggest enemy, which his name is capitalism, that has been a disease and a sickness, confronting through economic system, ecologic system, and in all the way that we have been living, all of us. And of course, home, the way that we live, the rent, or to not have a place where to live. So Chile right now is facing the same issue that you are facing in North America right now. There is a lot of people that live day by day, so there is a lot of tension right now because there is not a response through the government about how the people not only can live, but also can pay the rent where they are living. So that's the reason why I say yes, because I'm very interested always to have the possibility to listen other people with other experience. At the end, even if we live in different country, I really say that we are facing the same enemy. Yes.
Mommy.
Yes. Okay, so that's my realness with my little girl at home, like a lot of mothers. And so I want to say really thank you to inviting me to be.
Mami, se le está acabando la batería.
Sí, pero no puedo ir al tiro, mi amor, tienes que esperar un poquito.
Díseme dónde está el cargador.
No, es que no lo puedes enchufar tú, espérame un poquito. So that's the reason why I'm here, because I think we got to begin to build solidarity through bajo los pueblos. I'm thinking is the only way that we can fight in this in a bigger way. Sorry for my English, it's not so. I'm sorry, try to do my best. Aló.
Aló.
Ahora sí.
Ahora sí, sí, sí. So you're wondering if you could take a moment to introduce us to a song.
Of course, with pleasure.
Before we move on to our other speakers.
I'm a musician, I forgot it. Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
I'm sorry because I just came from Mexico, so I just came with my luggage and I don't have my studio, so I will invent this with this amazing possibility of modernity and computers. So I would like to dedicate all these, almost a lot of women I see here in this place, which that's show once again that women are always organized more than men. What is wrong with men? Like, so I will share this song for all these amazing activist women that I'm seeing on this video camera through different statements. And I will share this song is called Anti-Patriarca with a lot of love with all these amazing female activists. So this is for you. So you can enjoy whatever if you can listen to me, I will sing louder. Yo puedo ser tu hermana, tu hija, Tamara, Pamela o Valentina. Yo puedo ser tu gran amiga, incluso tu compañera de vida. Yo puedo ser tu gran aliada, la que aconseja y la que apaña. Yo puedo ser cualquiera de todas, depende de cómo tú me apodas. Pero no voy a ser la que obedece, porque mi cuerpo me pertenece. Yo decido de mi tiempo, cuando quiero y dónde quiero. Independiente yo nací, independiente decidí. Yo no camino detrás de ti, yo camino de la par aquí. Tú no me vas a humillar, tú no me vas a gritar, tú no me vas a someter, tú no me vas a callar, tú no me vas a denigrar, tú no me vas a golpear, tú no me vas a silenciar, tú no me vas a callar. No sumisa ni obediente, mujer fuerte, insurgente, independiente y valiente, rompe la cadena de lo indiferente, no pasiva ni oprimida, mujer linda y que das vida, emancipada en autonomía, antipatriarca y alegría. Y al liberar, y al liberar, y al liberar, libera, libera, libera. Yo puedo ser jefa de hogar, empleada o intelectual. Yo puedo ser protagonista de nuestra historia y la que agita la gente, la comunidad, la que organiza la vecindad, la que organiza la economía de su casa, de su familia. Mujer libre se pone de pie y a romper las cadenas de la piel. Tú no me vas a humillar, tú no me vas a gritar, tú no me vas a someter, tú no me vas a callar, tú no me vas a denigrar, tú no me vas a golpear, tú no me vas a silenciar, tú no me vas a callar. No sumisa ni obediente, mujer fuerte, insurgente, independiente y valiente, rompe la cadena de lo indiferente, no pasiva ni oprimida, mujer linda y que des vida, emancipada en autonomía, antipatriarca y alegría. Ya liberar, ya liberar, ya liberar. Libera, libera, liberar. We want cancer rent. Libera, libera, liberar. Libera, libera, libera. Thank you.
Woo!
I don't listen to you. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Sorry, my mic went out for a second. Gracias, Ana. We will be hearing from Ana again in shortly after we hear from more of our folks. Next, I would like to introduce Marta Escudero and Ruby Gordillo from Reclaim Homes in Los Angeles, El Sereno, who are currently reclaiming homes owned by the state or Caltrans in California. So Marta, please present yourself. Hey!
Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight. Housing is a human right.
Fight, fight, fight.
Hello, I just want to also give a quick shout out to the Chilean people here in Los Angeles. Los Mapuches, we were living in Chile for about 2 years. And so everybody from Walmapu, hey, we love you, much love, que estén bien. Yes, we were living in Walmapu for 2 years. When we came back to LA, we were unable to pay the rent anymore. It had doubled. And so me and my daughters, Mesli and Victoria, were unhoused for about 1.5 years. And we're now part of reclaiming our homes. There are a lot of homeless people in Los Angeles and throughout the state, but what I think we all know that because the whole state has become Skid Row. What we don't know is that there's also a lot of vacant homes that are owned by California, by the LA County, by LA City, and by the school district that are sitting vacant while people are on the streets. And this was before the pandemic, but now even more immediately, we want these homes to be occupied by the most vulnerable people, especially the elderly and the chronically ill, because they're literally hoarding these houses while there's people on the streets, and that's a public health crisis. Especially during this pandemic. For example, here in El Sereno, where I am, there's 40 vacant homes, and in the surrounding neighborhood, there's about 200. So that means there's thousands throughout the whole state. There's no reason why these houses should be vacant at all. And in this pandemic, there's also people that need to do the hygiene, and they're unable to because they can't keep up social distancing or their hygiene when they're on the streets. We also have a few reclaimers that are unable to put on their utilities because Caltrans is blocking this from them. And this is truly inhumane because and immoral because we need to keep up our hygiene, and they're blocking them from even doing that and spreading this disease. And like it was said earlier, when one of us is ill, then all of us are going to get sick, especially during this pandemic. So we're asking for the government to immediately house all these vacant homes. And if and even without this pandemic, like I said, we were living in this housing crisis for years, and we believe housing is a human right and housing is healthcare. Thank you so much. Fight, fight, fight. Housing is
a human right.
Fight, fight, fight. Housing
is a human right.
Fight, fight.
Housing is a human right.
Thank you so much, Martha. The work the fight that you guys are putting up in El Sereno is admirable, and it shows that we can't sit idle and allow things to be done unto us, and we have to take the initiative and do that in solidarity with the people close to us and near us. I want to introduce Jordan Garcia. He's the Colorado Program Director for American Friends Service Committee, speaking to the release of undocumented folks from GEO Detention Center in Aurora, Colorado, and the need to ensure safe, healthy, dignified homes for all. Jordan, so glad to have you here.
Great. Thank you so much for having me, Sunny. It's really awesome to be here. So yeah, I'm the program director at the American Friends Service Committee. I've been here for about 15 years doing immigrant justice work. And over the years, we've consistently called for the shutdown of all immigration detention centers. We know that conditions inside detention centers have always been terrible. There have always been limited and rotten food, terrible sanitation, rolling quarantines. But now there is this risk of COVID-19 outbreaks at immigration detention centers across the country. These facilities threaten the lives of the people deprived of their liberty inside and the surrounding communities outside. But we can stop needless deaths by setting everyone free. We're fortunate that here in Colorado, we've had quite a few releases from our facility in Aurora. We've been busy busting ass to get approximately 75 people released to their families and to community care, which feels awesome. But at last count, there were about 650 people still detained in our facility, needlessly behind bars around the country. If we can free people now, there is no reason that we can't keep people free. We need to close the detention centers, all detention centers. We do not need cages. We never needed cages. Detention centers are not homes. This week, we're participating in the Detention Watch Network Week of Action, and we hope that you all can stand in solidarity with that work. If you see the tweets that say hashtag free them all, please retweet, please share with your friends and your neighbors. We believe that going back to normal, going back to what we had in the past is not the way to go. So I'm really happy to be part of this this gathering today. It feels really good to see all your faces, and I hope that we get together soon.
Thank you for sharing your story, Jordan. Next, we'd like to have someone rep from Brooklyn Park, Minneapolis. Just confirming right now if they can speak. Thank you. Oh, there you are.
Hi.
Hi, hello.
My name is Hamza Hassan. It says Annette Wilson there, but I work closely with Annette. She is a tenant here in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, having some technical issues right now. We're trying to get her on the call as well. And thank you once again for your point on, was that Jordan, on the detention center. You know, Carlos Vasquez died from just simple influenza in detention centers. So we know the horrible conditions they have there. At the moment right now, during this entire pandemic, I've been talking to many tenants here in Minnesota, Black, brown, low income tenants. What we're hearing all across the board is this need for the cancellation of rent. Here in Minnesota, we also had a moratorium, on evictions as well. But what that does is it just accrues months and months of rent that will essentially need to be paid back at the end of this crisis. What we know is people are being laid off at the moment. One of our tenants, Annette Wilson, has had less hours. Another tenant by the name of Yvette, who has lost her main mean of income as well, and is relying on helping elderly folk in her community right now for some side money just to be able to make ends meet. This is the reality for many of low income, essential workers all across America. And we are trying to push for this cancellation of rent, as well as a pause on mortgages for landlords as well, because we do understand there is a cost to operating a property. We do understand that it is a business, but we also understand more above all than a business, it is a human right. It is shelter for people. It is the difference between being healthy and sick, living and dying, and eating a meal today and not. So here in Minnesota, we are also pushing to stop the rent. And I would like to thank you all across the nation right now who are also standing in solidarity with us during these trying times.
Thank you so much, Hazma. The work that you are also doing, I just want to pinpoint that each of these speakers, they have what we've done with the 5 demands, they've taken them and made them their own for their local context. So you see each of them really utilizing those demands and pushing for a policy that makes sense for their neighborhoods, for their cities, for their states. When we talk about, you know, canceling the rent, just like Hazma said, we don't want to just, you know, have a moratorium on evictions. We don't just want to freeze rent. We want to cancel it, because who can pay, who's going to be able to pay that back rent come the end of these 3 months, 4 months, or who knows how long this will last, especially when many people are unemployed. So we're asking for the cancellation of rent, the cancellation of mortgages, utilities, freeing our brothers and sisters from those cages and giving people quality, dignified, permanent housing. We're talking about a future beyond this pandemic, right? So I really challenge you to dream hard, right? Dream beautiful. Like, just imagine, like, what would your utopia be? You can make that. You can contribute to that. We'd love for you to go and sign on to our demands at cancelrent.us. And for those who probably don't like to use the computer all the time, but you know how to text and call, please text HOMES, HOMES, to 33339. HOMES, HOMES, to 33339. And I want to pass it over to my comrade Carmina so we can do a little something.
Thank you, Sunny. Oh, Hazma, did you want to share some more?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Miss Annette really wanted to share her story, so she said she'd call in. I want to just test this, maybe let y'all know if you can hear her. Miss Annette, if you want to talk real quick, I have you on speakerphone right now, so we can see if we can hear you. Can y'all hear?
Oh, okay. Here?
Yep, they can hear you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Annette Wilson, and I live in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. And the reason why I come on here today is to kind of elaborate on what's going on today about the people that is actually right now is in devastation about their rent being paid and you know, how they're going to go by from next to day to day. I was one of the people that was actually affected also by the corona-19, and we're just trying to find out, like, what is our, from day to day, even though we may receive unemployment, but we know that before the corona-19 started, a lot of people were living off of a set amount of income each month. And like, I live in the Huntington Place apartments, and my biggest thing is to where about the rent being paid. I understand that the rent needs to be paid. I also need to understand that the landlords also, they are looking for their money, but how can we give them something that we don't have right now at this point? And even into that, it's going to set us back. And I don't think that we should be able to go out and to put ourselves in a deeper debt to go and get loans and things like that in nature, and for us to pay our rent. I even had to go so far as even with I had to go and even go as far as with my car title. I had to get a title loan off my vehicle so that I can be able to pay my rent. And now that has put me in a situation to where I actually have to go back and pay that money back. But each day, from day to day, they're charging me interest so that I can be able to get my title. Until I pay the money back, I can pay so that I can get my title back from the guys. But my biggest thing is to where also we have a lot of children over here, and so the parents that doesn't, single parents per se does not make the same amount, and how the children are supposed to maintain if their parents is not receiving financial. Some of the kids depend on being able to eat each day. And I don't think that's something that kind of worries me as well. But that's why I'm pushing so to where I just believe that they should put a standstill right now on paying the rent right now so that people can be able to at least feed their families, if nothing else. If they don't get food stamps, they do get some type of cash, but we have to take in consideration that like unemployment actually is something that they give you each week, but some people have rent that's like way over what unemployment is giving each week. And then it depends on how much, and then some people are not even getting unemployment because they didn't put in enough time to be able to even receive that unemployment. So that's really a big sticker for me right now.
Is that it, Annette?
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Annette. I am going to pass it back on to Carmina. We really appreciate you trying to, come in by any means possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks again for making that powerful testimony possible, Hazma. And again, like Sunny was saying, every speaker that we have today corresponds with the demands that we're presenting on our Beyond Recovery platform. So we want a future free from debt. We want a future with safe, dignified, and cage-free shelter and sanctuary and homes for all. We want to halt evictions, foreclosures, raids, and sweeps. We want a future where utilities are vital to our personal collective health are guaranteed. And we want a future where our work is valued and protected. So I want to redirect back to Ana and ask her a question around how are folks in La Lucha right now in Chile, how are they handling the situation? Because we know the pandemic is global, right? So I want to switch over to Ana and ask her, how are folks gathering in Chile to combat this pandemic and fight for what they need and want right now?
I mean, one of the stuff that we are living right now in Chile is like everything has been privatized in Chile. We've got this neoliberal system, economic system, that the same that you got in North America, where the right of life is totally prohibited. Everything is economic. We live under number, even, which is interesting when you see, like, I love to think, I always say it because for me it's very important. Like, I always think that our struggle is an international struggle. It's Latin America, it's Africa. And when we talk about Europe, we say about the camp, all the refugees. We are talking about the people that are living like, escaping like war, people from Syria, Lebanon. I'm talking about Iraq, I'm talking about Palestine. So I think that is very important to say this, like think our struggle, that the struggle that you are living for the rent and the home and the right of the home and the right to have a home is a right of life. And this fight is a fight of the world right now. So Chile and the rest of the world, we are living under the same pattern. Of course, every country is different, and we got different, we get singularity through Bolivia, Argentina, Chile, Venezuela, Colombia, Brazil. But at the end, I think that which is important here is like, in my case, I can talk like for me at the same time. I think organization and solidarity are our big cure to this disease, the pandemic of war. Why I'm saying this? Because since the COVID appeared, it was very interesting to listen a lot of presidents talking, and all of them almost was talking about we are in war. they love war. They have been like putting so much money in guns and tanks and all this bullshit, bellic bullshit, you know. So it's important here, it's important to say that in my case, I'm not in war. I'm preparing my body to something, to a cure. But I think the fact that I think all the time that we are in war put a pressure and a stress under society, all of us. So which is terrible about what is happening right now is like the people that we is going to pay it up will be the poorest, the people without home, the crazies, the refugees, the camp, and you can continue the list, like the border. It's always the border, you know, when you don't have money, because we are talking about numbers. Even if you listen like the radio or the TV in Chile or whatever, it's always about numbers. And our fight is against number. We are not number, we are people, and we are asking for dignity. So very hard, I've got to say, to find a way of find a struggle and solidarity with this new situation. We can be on the street, which is normal. So we are trying, like you, to find this way of website, to talking, make Zoom meeting, chat, WhatsApp, whatever, and find the way that we can organize through, we say, building a neighborhood, whatever. So I think we are still trying to find a new way of fighting with this new panorama that we are dealing with, no? So I think we are putting a lot of questions on this table with this new way of fighting or find a cure as a solidarity for dignity. I don't listen to you.
Thank you, Ana. Thank you for sharing how folks in Chile and all over the world are combating this big pandemic or endemic of capitalism that's affecting everybody worldwide. And I was wondering if you...
I just want to say before, I'm sorry to say this, but I just remember that I received like something super interesting, like from, I think it's a hospital from Holland that sent like numbers of people that disease since this year. And you can even imagine the number that disease on the Mediterranean, like people that's trying to leave Africa and arrive to Europe, cancers, women like feminicidios, and all the people that dying and nobody talking about that. Like, so it's always important, like to be, to have open the vision about this, like the pandemic of violence and the paranoia, collective paranoia, because the paranoid make to each other to frozen and not to have.
Oh no, she froze again. Oh, they heard me.
Have a movement. Hello?
Hello, sí, the connection froze for a second, but thank you, Ana, for sharing. And I was wondering if you could follow that up with 2 songs that you would like to share that respond to that.
Okay, so I don't know if those songs respond to that because I don't have an answer at all. I've got more questions than answer all the time. That's always my pattern. And so the first song I will sing, that will be a song that I made for the people that live these lands, how you say this, these dimensions. And its name is Calaverita, and it say like this. I'm the worst DJ right now. So once again, I want to say hello to everyone that is sharing this crazy Zoom meeting. We are making politics through website. What is wrong with us? Cuando yo muera, yo de ti quiero un beso tuyo y una coronita de flores, cariño mío, no llores mi vida que yo te llevo y en este lecho de amor danzando muero. Todos llevamos dentro un muerto que acompaña, que aparece cuando la noche llega y el sol se apaga. Todos llevamos dentro un muerto que acompaña, que aparece cuando la noche llega y el sol. Salud y vida por nuestros muertos, calaveritas, mi negro, fúnebre cielo, y estrellas negras, dulce consuelo te llevo, con las abuelas, abuelos, danzando muero. I would like to dedicate this song with all the people that are in prison right now. Since October in Chile, we're asking for freedom to our prisioneros políticos. Tú me acompañas en cada verso y en cada beso. Tu voz yo siento, cariño mío, no llores, mi vida, que yo te llevo. Y en este lecho de amor danzando muero. Todos llevamos dentro un muerto que acompaña, que aparece cuando la noche llega y el sol se apaga. Todos llevamos dentro un muerto que acompaña. Fue la onda, llega y el sol. Salud y vida, salud chiquillas, por nuestros muertos. Calaverita, mi sueño, fúnebre cielo, y estrellas negras, dulce consuelo te llevo, con las abuelas, abuelos, danzando muero. I would like to say everybody that is connected. I see a lot of people. Amber, Fred, Sofía, Gemma, Samudra, Randy, Kelly, Cindy, Davin, Claire, Alicia, Omar, Cristina de nuevo, Samudra Randazo, Carla de Paz, Martina Ayala, Matt Howard, Anthony Benzi, Alía Trinle, Beatriz Camacho, Dayana García, Rosa Rieta, Leticia Arce, Ian Vargas, Ana Sauceda, Seyas Guadara, ¿lo dije bien? Leina, Lenea Baibum, Down Phyllis, Borin Serra, Marta Escudero, Sonny Houghton, Annette Wilson, Carmina Calderón. This looks like a song right now, what I just say. Salud y vida por nuestros muertos, calaveritas, mi negro fúnebre cielo, y estrellas negras, dulce consuelo te llevo, con las abuelas, abuelos, luchando muero. We fight until the end, luchando muero. Cancel the rest, yo muero. Aguante, chiquillas y chiquillos. ¿Me escuchan?
My heart is full. Carmina.
Wow, I know, me too. I'm fangirling right now. Thank you, gracias, Ana. Thank you so much for that message and for sharing how this is a global struggle. This is a fight we all have to fight, right?
Yes, yes. And
I
would just like to say once again, like we are asking for really, my English really is terrible, for liberation of our políticos prisioneros in Chile, which is very important, and say hello, of course, of all our compañeras y compañeros presos políticos también en Norteamérica.
Gracias, eso.
Gracias.
Gracias.
I think these demands really are being taken up across the nation, but these demands really speak to simple, basic human rights. And we're really asking for the bare minimum, but we definitely deserve more as a people. And this Beyond Recovery Homes for All campaign, for those who are individuals right now, in your home city or home state, we are here to support you. For those who are part of organizations right now, we are here to support you to carry on these demands in your local context. We are having we want you to join us on our next national organizing call. And that's going to be next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time. So you can go to cancelrent.us, and it's up on the screen. Go to that website so you can stay updated. You can sign on to the demands, and we can start connecting you. When you join us on that call, we can start connecting you to people in your area, providing you with that training that you need. If you're like, I've never organized in my life, I'm telling you, you probably got the skills and you just don't know it. If you're saying, you know, I'm by myself, or I'm already a part of an organization, still be a part of these calls so that we can do this and get aligned collectively. We'll have legal representation on the calls for folks who need a little bit more guidance. We also have sample materials that you can use, whether it's an online petition, letters to the landlord. We're providing all that additional support to our brothers and sisters alike. And I just also want to encourage you to join that text list, and the response, you need to text homes to 3339, 4319. And please do share your stories, keep sharing, share these rallies that we're doing, share the information to the organizing calls, share your own story. What are you going through? I just recently made a post today about the conversations that I've been having with my mothers and my friends. My mother just recently, her job put her on a temporary vacation, and she doesn't know when she's gonna go back. My best friend, they cut her. They said, okay, this week you'll receive 100% of your pay. Next week, you're only gonna receive 70%, and they're gonna keep cutting it back to back. And she has 3 kids. So it's, you know, I'm going into a work environment where I do home health care. Like, I put myself and others that I treat at risk when I don't have proper equipment or the support that I need. So definitely share your story on social media with the hashtags, hashtag cancel rent, cancel mortgages, and hashtag homes for all. This is for all of us. This is for renters. This is for homeowners. This is for small business owners. And be sure to send your videos. If you have some videos, you can send them to, can we pull up the PowerPoint page that has the media inquiries? So if you have videos, you can post them online, but you can also reach out to our media at righttothecity.org. For any inquiries, interviews, please hit us up. And I'm going to pass it on to my comrade, Carmina.
Hi, everybody. So we wanted to close out with a song, but Ana says she has to head out, which is fine. It's great. Thank you so much for being with us. Everybody say thank you to Ana. Thank you.
Thank you, Ana.
And thank you, Sunny, for amplifying the demands. And I want to just try to close out with another chant. If we want to go with Marta's chant that she was chanting earlier, well, you know, the fight, fight, fight. Housing is a human right.
Fight.
Housing is a human right. Fight. Housing is a human right. Fight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. I appreciate you making the time to hear from Ana Tijoux and our speakers all over the country, to talk about the struggles that we're facing right now and how this corresponds with our demands and what we want out of this current time that we're all facing. Thank you all speakers for sharing your stories. I appreciate, thank you to Hazma for making it possible to get to Miss Annette
Thank you.
And I just want to say thank you to everybody that was able to make it. And that's it, folks. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. Bye. Thank you. Bye.